All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Welcome aboard to the Morning Note. My name is Carlos Garcia, founder and CEO of Gar Capital. It is Monday, August 14th, 2023. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to join me this morning and every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the YouTube channel. Glad to have you on board. New week. Let's go ahead and get it. Dow futures down 27 points. NASDAQ down about 12. S&P 500 down about 1.12%. 1924 on the Russell, down about 0.35%. 10-year Treasury yields bouncing, 4.182 on a 10-year basis. Dollar index is soaring this morning, 103.21, up 0.36%, with the volatility index at 1590, up 7.14%. Crude oil is down 1.24%. Pretty much the deal is the dollar being higher, so commodities are going to get hit since they're priced in dollars. 82.15 per barrel on crude oil. Remember, we're still waiting for that 85 level, so we're a little chopping up a little bit. I'll go over here a chart in a second. Gasoline futures down about 1.59%, $2.91 a gallon. 1942 for gold futures. Silver futures are up, interesting enough. 22.77, 0.14%. $3.71 for copper futures. That's margin lower. Euro dollar down 46 pips, 109.02. Dollar yen 145.33, up 36 pips. Pound dollar down 39 pips, 126.59. Bitcoin, even with the dollar being higher, is pretty much flat-ish, 29,405. 1850 Ethereum futures are green. Good morning, Benjamin. Glad to have you on board. All right, so I want to go over first. Let's go over the NASDAQ first. Actually, you know what? I want to answer this question first. This is from one of our members who DM'd me last night asking me, how do you check for scans for unusual options activity? And he was somebody that was like, I really love those unusual options activity. And of course, I think most people do when they hit. People like those big returns, and I totally get it. But as we talked about really now for about 2-3 weeks, that we're in the dog days of August. Not a lot of volume, not a lot of liquidity right now, as you can see, just lower highs, lower lows, as we know, but it's really just chopping, very difficult to trade. So I want to show you guys right now, how do we find the options scan and how do we actually look for some unusual options activity. So what we're going to do is go to scan on thinkorswim platform. You're going to go to the option hacker, scan in all optionable, intersect with none, exclude none. You don't need to add all that. What you want to choose here on the drop down box is volume, and then you want to put minimum of 10,000. Now, again, you're going to get a lot of SPY, a lot of Qs, a lot of Tesla, a lot of Apple. So kind of make that in your notes that those big guys, those four, I would say, are usually, if not always, on the list that comes out. You don't have to put anything else on the bottom or anything like that. With that being said, you put show 200, options sorted by symbol, ascending. You go to scan. Obviously, the market's not open, so nothing's going to load, as we know. But again, this right here, this is more future stuff, so I would ignore this. Anything kind of futures related, again, we're focusing on what? We're focusing on options. That's what we want to look for. So again, you want to go to scan, options hacker, scan in all optionable, and we're going to go to volume, 10,000. Again, right now, the market's closed. But again, this is how you get those volume spikes in options. And again, you choose the one that you see that actually has, your attention, and then you chart and see if it actually makes sense. And then you start seeing if it's worth actually trading. Not everything that shows up on the options volume option hacker here on thinkorswim is really worth your capital. It's just a way to see what else is out there. If you are on our Discord server, we do that for you as well. I don't use these, but again, for you guys, it is part of the market blog, which is free. Trading flow setups, these right here show different flows. And again, this is included for everybody. Wanted to give this to everybody. So I don't trade these based on these alerts. Not even a heads up, but usually more times than not, I've gone and checked, and then we are already in the trade before it even comes out. So again, it could be delayed. Who knows? I always say the best indicator is your eyes as a trader. Then you go to breakout activity. Again, this is included for all server members. This shows the chart and exactly which stocks are breaking out. But again, it is your job to actually do your due diligence and see if this is even worth your time. So again, personally, I don't use it. But again, if someone wants to use it, again, use it at your leisure, and that's how you look up for the options volume. Thank you for the question. I want to give the shout out to the, let's see here. I want to make sure I get the right name. This is from David. So thank you, David, for being part of our service. just got a headline here. Intuit's Alex Chris is now the new CEO of PayPal. Let's see if PayPal is moving this morning. So we got breaking news. Again, nice little pop this morning on the hourly. I'll go ahead and copy and paste on my phone so everyone can see it. We're going to go to the live market blog here. I'll type it up, put it from my phone, so you can see here. Live market blog. There it is. Intuit's and Alex Chris named new PayPal CEO. Let me see if I can put at least the ticker symbol for everybody. There we go. So live breaking news here on the morning note. How fun. S&P 500 futures, let's look at it. Again, kind of just hovering at support. Nothing's really changed. Guess where we are, the 50-day. If we break below it and we start breaking below 44.59 or so, that is that wick low. We'll place an alert there. If that happens, then we can short. Thing is that it's just choppy, and it's been tough to short this market as we've been slowly grinding down, and we did 4 puts last week. It's not like we can't do puts again. I'm all for it. But again, it's going to just be choppy for first couple of weeks of August is this way. Let's go to NASDAQ rather quickly. NASDAQ 15,000. That is your trend line support. As you can see, trend line support as has been holding. If 15,000 does break, we can go all the way down to 14,676. So let's place an alert below 15,000. We'll do 14,988. Again, that could still be wicked. That's the worst, but that's something that we're watching. Let's go real quick on the questions and answer section here. Carlos is asking, hi Carlos, thoughts on the week's price action? Well, we just, we haven't even opened yet. We do have some futures here, pretty choppy. As you can see, we were green this morning when I first got out of the bed. And you could see nice pop around the European Open. So we got some Asian buying, and then we kind of slid back and just looking like we're going to retest right on that first thing in the morning move higher. So if we look at Sunday's 6 o'clock open, you see we've got 15,103, nice little bounce. We're kind of hovering around that area. So 15,000 being key. Again, I don't expect much. To be honest, put call ratios are getting a little elevated. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a short squeeze as traders might get hit this week. So one thing I want to make sure to really input this week is that it's been very difficult to get 40% profit on the trade. So let's kind of focus on base hits this week, 25, 30%. Again, as long as we don't lose money, then we're good. As long as you don't lose. I can handle not winning sometimes, that's fine, but just don't lose. So again, guys, I'm going to give you everyone the heads up on the blog and the Discord server. 25 to 30% is what we're looking for in terms of profit targets. We want to get our money and get out. Kind of like the ATM analogy I talked about on the YouTube shorts and the TikToks and the Reels. Adding Tesla in this level. No. Tesla needs to get below 200. We still haven't filled that gap. All it's doing is filling that gap. And look at that, 235.96. Guys, we had the 240 puts literally, a day a little early. So if I would have filled it for the week after, we probably would have caught it. But we did catch the 240 puts that were in the money. I went over this trade again on the market recap on YouTube. If you missed that, make sure to check our previous recorded videos where I break it all down. 235.13, again, that is the gap fill. We're about 70, 80 cents away from it now. It seems to be a foregone conclusion. Would I short it here to 235? No, you're right near the money. So Tesla's in no man's land. If anything, you're looking to see if we get a break below it. Interesting. But for the most part, you're not trading this now. We had 2 shots on it last week. We got it twice, so I'll take it as we get. Hi, Carlos. Is energy stocks the new sector to be looking at instead of tech? Yeah, you're just getting a little bit of rotation. As you know, I am long XOM. Pulled back this morning. 112.03 is the break point that I'm looking for. So let's see if we get it. We're still above that green dotted line, at least on the at least on the hourly pre-market level. We still have the gap to fill here at 114.47, excuse me. And it's a very similar price action to CVX. CVX is down this morning as well. Again, we have a gap to fill at 166.30. So I do like energy here as we went over NASDAQ is nearing support. Again, just for trading. Let's not force anything here. We got Exxon from last week. I think we catch that this morning. And then we see what else we get. The key is that there's that 15,000 support hold on NASDAQ. Could it? We'll see. And again, it's a very important support because if we break it, now we have a trend line break, and we can really start looking at 14,318 for a possible next level down, or just trade within the zone here of these two Fibonacci retracement levels of 14,367 and 15,284. That's pretty much the wide range that you got. Difference between auto fib retracements and extensions. The auto retracements just show you the actual main Fibonacci extensions, 0 to 100. Extensions can be below the 0 and then above it. So again, it just depends on movement of the stock. Again, think of Fibonacci extensions and retracements as a GPS in your car. It's nice to have on, but you don't need it to drive home. It may give you a little bit of a change in direction, or maybe a shortcut, but I wouldn't depend on it. You guys know how to get home. I mean, the key is using your eyes as your best indicator. Just because the Fibonacci breaks doesn't mean it's bullish or bearish. And again, it's just a kind of a level of mark that you're looking for. That's it. Again, it's really based on that Fibonacci theory or so, extension theory. Sorry for the autocorrection. That's okay. Let's take a look at NVIDIA this morning. NVIDIA this morning, we're at 405.44. We did break below. No, we haven't broken yet. Let me see if I can get this alert here. 404.21, 395.66. We'll leave it there at 404.21. If that breaks, I'll target 378.11. And again, guys, you're just getting a rotation out of tech. I mean, tech's valuations are a little stretched. I can't say, oh, it's bearish now or everything in the world's going to end. No, you're just getting some rotation into value stocks, energy, healthcare, those names. So let's take a look at UNH this morning, and you could see even with the down tape, United Health is trading above $2 above their closing price. So starting to get some consolidation on this name. Does it mean that I want to trade it? Not really, because there's not really much options in UNH, but it's a great stock to own. And even that broke down the trend line like NASDAQ did. So it's not like, oh, once you break a trend line, it's game over. You could see that we just held down and consolidated. So very interesting, very similar price action out of rotation. You saw how UNH broke the 50, broke the 200, and is now back above it and above that trend line here. So, a name like an Apple has not broken the 200-day. It's just sitting on the 100-day. So not very similar price action. Again, wider levels in terms of the moving averages there. In terms of the market, guys, again, I'm just expecting some chop. I think the deal is, maybe lower your positions this week to half position so you don't get chopped up. I think we get ExxonMobil anyways. We're in the right sector that we want to be in. The only issue is that the dollar is up today. You can see it here. So let's kind of pivot towards the dollar, and you can see 103.22 this morning. And beautiful break. But again, look at us, what we have here. We have the 200-day, 103.59. So that might be resistance. If that does break, that's where we have to make sure to spring into action and start looking at Forex again. And again, Forex, just like the equity markets, have been very choppy as well. But we're starting to break above these highs on the dollar yen around June. The only reason I don't want to trade dollar yen long on this breakout is that now that the BOJ is also keeping an eye on these foreign currency markets, and their deal is to actually not have the dollar get too high against the yen either. They do want a balance. So the last thing I want to do is get into dollar yen, and then we get some headlines from the BOJ where they're doing some kind of stimulus or something like that to their monetary policy, and then screws up our trade. We don't want that. We want high probability setups. Let's take a look at the euro dollar. And again, broke below support, below the 100, the 50, and the 20. The only issue is that we're running out of gas in terms of the dollar. The dollar continues to go higher. We have that 200 MA looming. Could we short down to 108.26? Possibly on the euro. So again, we want to keep an eye on that this morning. We may have to fill it. Let's see the level that we're looking for. Let's see if there's anything here on the lows. 109. Let's see if we can break 109.90. 109.90. The last thing I want, guys, is to get wicked and then bounced. So we're going to do 109.90 or so. Are we there already? Yeah, we are. We're continuing to fall. Let's see if I can get a good level for us here. Let's do 80. 108.80. That gives us a 20 pip, little bit of a cushion to confirm the break, and then we could target this support level here of 108.24. And if not, we can also always move the stop as we creep lower and see if we can test that 200-day. So let's see if we break 108.90. And if that does come by, we're about 9 pips away. I think this is pretty decent for a short, just because we're below the major moving averages. And again, you still have that upward trend line here, up support. So even getting to that 200, it's not the worst thing in the world. So we may be able to catch this 108.90 on Forex. That's going to be our alert level that we're watching for the euro dollar. So again, we're going to keep an eye on the dollar as well. Back to the dollar again, 103.59. That's the target. That's your 200-day. If you break above it, 104.99 will be our next target, and we can always play dollar pairs on Forex higher. So we may not be able to do anything in terms of the dollar in equity markets, but we could do something with it with Forex. So again, it's good to have, well balanced and starting to see what other instruments we can use to take advantage. And not everything revolves around stocks either. Options, yes, obviously, but we don't need to trade options every day. We don't need to risk our capital in options every day if there's better instruments out there to trade. I want to go ahead and go to crude oil as well. And crude oil, again, you see 85. I see that we test that. And if we break above it, then energy needs to be on the radar for everybody in terms of options. That means Oxy, that means CVX, that means Marathon, that means ExxonMobil, because then your next level is around 89.06. Now, again, this could be something that's adjusted. Obviously, OPEC can change something regarding to production or production cuts. You also have the strategic oil reserve. So again, the government could always release more oil from the reserve to bring down oil prices. So again, we're kind of beholden to that. So trading oil isn't the easiest. We've done pretty well with it. We'll wait for 85 to break. We'll see if we break below 80.37. That's your 20-day. Now again, if we test that, then we maybe see rotation out of energy and then to maybe another sector that would probably benefit from crude oil prices going lower. That would be airlines. So airlines, you could see how much has fallen down. We do have a gap to fill back at DAL, 47.29, 43.98. Let's see if we hold that. I went ahead and put that on the top, or the three stocks that I'm watching this week in terms of stock options that I put on the actual blog. If you want to take a quick look at it, I went ahead and shared it yesterday on all social media as well. And here it is. We have DAL, Home Depot, CVX, and Disney. So those are the 4 I have there. If you're interested in more details, go ahead and take a look at our blog for that. Let's go to AAL. Same deal. You can see the same kind of price action, pop and drop. And it's no secret that the correlation with crude oil and airlines, that's a big line item budget for these airline companies, is energy costs and fuel costs. And what's going to happen, that's going to be passed on to the consumer. So again, we need to keep an eye that if oil does continue to break, we need to start playing strength with futures. We need to play strength with energy companies with balance. Obviously, maybe rotation into value. If we get a sinking in oil, then we can take a look at the stocks that are maybe a little oversold, that are affected by oil prices. So it's important to look at the macro sense of everything out there and what can we take advantage of in terms of price action, price movement. So some good stuff. I love Mondays. I really do, because it gives us a fresh start, fresh week, fresh opportunities as always. So let's make it a great Monday. I will see you guys tomorrow for the next morning note. Server members, I will see you on the Discord as well. Have a great rest of your morning. I will see you tomorrow. Cheers.